Good evening. It's Monday. We are back on our regular Monday night. It is the over and over and over again Arsenal review. Of course, what a great weekend it is. I'm sure we're all still feeling pretty happy about what happened on Saturday lunchtime at the Emirates, of course, because this happened. Pretty standard, really, isn't it? You know, Tottenham getting battered at the Emirates once again. So we're obviously going to look at that game, of course. A few talking points come up in that we'll talk about. We've got two games this week as well. Obviously, Europa League's back. A bit of a delay, obviously, with a PSV game, but we are back. We're playing against the Norwegian side, Bode, Glimt. Who are they? Well, we'll maybe find out a little bit. And also, of course, next Sunday, it's a massive game in the Premier League, isn't it? A really, really big game. That is, of course, against Liverpool. So we're going to look into that as well. Lots to do. So let's get cracking.
Now, Thomas Partey coming forward for Arsenal. Exchanges passes with Granit Xhaka coming forward again. And Thomas Partey throws it into Martinelli. In the box, Gabriel Martinelli. It's now with Granit Xhaka. Is it going to be the third goal? It is the third goal. Granit Xhaka with it. That seals it. So a slightly new and improved intro there to include a goal from, of course, Saturday, which was good stuff. Melvin, of course, is with us, and Steve as well. Neil will be joining us very shortly as well. Melvin, first of all, good to see you again. Enjoy yourself on Saturday, I'm assuming?
Very, very good. I met some very nice people before the game as well. And also Steve.
We did. Good.
No, love it. No, seriously, love it to see you two at last. That was brilliant. And we just went on and did the job. Good evening, Neil. How you doing?
Good evening, lads. All right?
Yeah, fine. Very happy after the weekend. I watched the game again, and I think I actually remember every kick of the game. You do that sometimes, don't you?
Fair play.
Yeah, I mean it's always nice. Obviously, when we win that particular fixture, so it was good. Actually, it was a great picture of you, Adam and Steve. Actually, at the before the game, that was great. A lovely picture of you three, which was great to see. Which we put on the little vlog as well. And Steve, good to see you again. Of course, as always, great to see you.
Thank you.
North
London. Yes, come on. Yes. It's our time again. Battered them. We took it to them. Jamie O'Hara is still running from me. Jamie, where are you? Stop hiding.
We've tried.
We've all been trying. And I've got to say, Richard, massive. Well done. 20,000. 20,000. We hit 20K last week. Absolutely brilliant. 20,000 views for what has been just a few games in. We're really gathering momentum. And thank you to everybody that's watching me. Normally get drunk, drink a lot of wine, and talk a load of nonsense about some stats. So I'm looking forward to another evening of that this evening. Thank you for inviting me, mate.
Always a pleasure, of course, Steve, as always. And yeah, I mean, we've had a good month or so, which is good. And hopefully it's just the start of bigger and better things on the channel. And it's been great that, you know, everybody's getting involved with all the new shows that we've been doing as well, which is good. And it is, of course, as always, a pleasure to see Neil again. How you doing, mate? Are you still buzzing from Saturday? I'm assuming that you must be.
Of course, Richard. You all know that I'm buzzing.
Of course.
You know where we're going to end up in May, don't you, Richard?
Well, I know we're going to end up in the top four in May, indeed. In one of those three positions below Man City. But yeah.
The pinnacle, my son, the pinnacle.
Well, we shall see. A long way to go, yeah, of course, obviously.
I'll ask you a question. Can we finish above top in the Premiership?
Above top?
Say yes. Yeah.
Above the top.
If we win it, is that good enough for you, or do you think we've got to go higher in the Premiership?
Well, the quad undefeated quad would be nice, but that will happen in the future.
Well, we can't be undefeated now, can we? Because unfortunately, we did lose a game already, which is a shame.
No, in the future, Richard, in the future.
No, in the future. Well, an undefeated quad would be amazing, wouldn't it? Let's hope that you're right, and we can enjoy that. I suppose really there's only one place that we can start, isn't there? I mean, after the weekend that we've had, there is only one place to begin. Now, I'm assuming that we are allowed officially, because Richard Keys said we're actually officially allowed to celebrate that win, which was nice, because unfortunately we were not allowed to celebrate any other win up till now, because he's always told us that we can't. But he gave us permission to enjoy that one, which we did. And it was, as we all know, and everyone that saw the game, it was a really, really good Arsenal performance. As good as we've played all season, over 90 minutes, I thought it was. I thought we dominated from start to finish. Yeah, we had a little shaky spell, conceded a soft goal, as we tend to do at home anyway, but we responded again, and it was as comfortable a victory. I mean, last season's victory against Tottenham was pretty comfortable, and this was equally as comfortable, wasn't it, really? Tottenham were never really... I never felt at any point that we were going to lose that game at all. And, lots of incidents, obviously, a red card, which... we'll maybe talk about as well. But overall, the most important thing I want to focus on is how well we played. That's the first thing. It's a big game. Yes, Tottenham aren't very good. We know that anyway. But ultimately, it's still a massive game, and we had to perform on the day, and we did more than that. It was an amazing performance. I mean, obviously, Melvin, I know that you were there. You, Stephen, and Adam were there. I mean, obviously the atmosphere, it came through how great it was, and we've seen scenes from inside the ground, this and the other. But I mean, what did you make of the performance? Because I thought it was probably our best 90 minutes of the season, actually.
At home, it was our best performance of the season. Yeah. I think we played very well last week, the other week before last at
Brentford. Yeah, Brentford was good.
That was a fantastic performance. This was at another level, because we were playing against, with all due respect to Brentford, who are good, very good. We're talking about a much slightly higher quality, and we just tore them to ribbons. And like my son, who was sitting next to me, said at half time, felt like we were getting beat, because it's so unjust to go in 1-1. And that I worry. I know that we were playing very well, very happy with the way we were doing things, but the back of your mind, you've got to think it's Spurs. If any team can nick a game when they don't deserve it, and it's Spurs, and that's the only. On football, we were a different class. We were moving the ball so fast around. Martin there, he was a little fly, wasn't he? He was like, get off. Well, no, he was only everywhere. He was fantastic. And his ball control was good anyway. It's always been good, but it seems to have improved. He's fast, he's direct, he's two-footed, he cuts inside, outside, he does the whole lot now. And he brings others into a game a lot more than he used to. Saka had a good game. I thought that was brilliant. But when you talk about the atmosphere, what is amazing is when they do that. I know you don't like it, Richard, but that hybrid song, I Agree Forever. It
North
lifts
London
Forever, sorry. It lifts the whole ground. And the Spurs supporters must have been sitting there going, bloody hell, because everyone was getting involved. I've got to learn the words one day, but I was getting involved. But it just lifts. And also, with all the players having songs about them, again, it brings everyone together. It's fantastic. It was buzzing. It's nearly, you couldn't say now that the Emirates is our home ground now. It felt like there's been a change. It used to be a place that is not hybrid that we play football at, but it's slowly become. And you've got to say the club has made big strides. Not only the supporters have made big strides, what they're doing, we're giving out flags and all that business, but they play the Saliba song. They play obviously the North London song and a couple of other songs they play. And it seems to fit. Listen, if we're going to get beat every week, then it ain't going to fit, is it? But at the moment, the club's doing what they can, the team's doing what they can, and the crowd's doing what they can. All three things are gelling, and it's wonderful to be there. It's an experience. It's like it's like going to a game, and it's more than just a football game. It is an experience now, and long may it last.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously our form at home has been good for a while anyway, hasn't it? And that's obviously one of the big reasons. It's been said in the past, hasn't it? Going away to certain grounds with the atmosphere, it's like playing against 12 players, isn't it? And I think teams are experiencing that at the Emirates now. And I agree. It's never really completely felt like home, has it? We've been there a long time, but it's never really felt like home. And I think a lot of us do miss hybrid. But what I've noticed is as well, a lot of the crowd now in the Emirates seems to be a lot younger than it was a few years ago. Like a younger generation are now coming to the games and getting involved. And maybe that's probably why, because they won't have experienced hybrid anyway, which is great, so that they can bring that to the Emirates. And I've noticed that it seems to be a younger crowd, more younger crowd than it used to be maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And that's massively helped as well. And that's great to see. Obviously, the Ashburton Army in particular at the clock end, doing a great job. But I just feel in general that's how it's been. Younger crowd are now coming and getting involved, which is fantastic, because I felt we'd lost that a little bit over the time of being at the Emirates, and it seems to be coming back now, and long may it continue. But yeah, you're right. Results and performances are the key driver of it all as well, aren't they? And while we're playing well, it's going to be like this. And let's see what happens if we do hit a bad spell. Let's hope that the crowd, I mean, so far it has been positive. We've conceded a goal, we've gone behind, the crowd are still stuck with the team. Let's hope that continues. I mean, Steve, you was there as well, obviously. I know you would have obviously enjoyed yourself and probably lost your voice as normal. But it was a good Arsenal performance. Well, it's what you want. It's what we want to see in these big games. And yes, people will say Tottenham aren't a particularly great team, whatever, but they are a top 4 team. And to play as we did against a team like that, for the games that we've got coming up certainly before the break for the World Cup, it's good that we put in a great performance like that in a game like this, isn't it?
I think there's 2 or 3 things. The atmosphere, and Melvin, it would be lovely to meet you, mate. It really genuinely was. But Adam as well. And so Neil, your turn next, mate, to get your butt down there. But I think there's 2 or 3 things that are really, really important. And I genuinely believe this Arsenal team, having watched them, they got another gear to go. I genuinely believe they've got another gear to go. They can get that much better. I was hoarse. I timed it. I lost my voice at 4 minutes and 50 seconds in. Like, I'm screaming. Like, genuinely did. And James is making a couple of little comments. I'm going to have to eat a bit of humble pie about Son, actually. I've never seen us dominate in such a way. And we were talking about it before the show. You know, Conte has a habit of getting beaten at the Emirates. He did it, at Chelsea, and he went on to do really well. But we got a habit of battering them. And we absolutely... looking at the formation and the way that Conte set up, the chicken head Richarlison there, trying to do, and he did like square root of 0. Kane, here's one for you. How many foot races do you think Kane won against Saliba? And this was the whole thing of Kane's world class. He's this, he's that. He's going to batter Saliba. How many foot races do you think that guy won?
Well, I don't remember him winning any, if I'm honest. I didn't see him win one.
0.
So, yeah.
And can I just butt in there, gentlemen? How many headers did he win against him as well?
Yeah.
Probably 0 again.
Probably 0.
Probably, yeah.
0 as well. So what we did is we did exactly what we did at Brentford. We controlled the game. And I think there was one turning point in the game, all right? And that was the save. No one's really mentioned it. The first 15 minutes that Ramsdale did that save as they were on goal. And it wasn't exactly a mental shot, but I think it was one of them ones that mentally, if it had gone in...
They go in the corner normally, don't they? They roll underneath the keeper.
Yeah, as Hugo Lloris found out. Goal. But look, overall, there is not even hairy hands. Richard Keys couldn't even put us down. The fans are just on another level. I love the Emirates. I had Luke was with me, who's been on the show. First North London derby. He said he had the old hairs on the back of his arms were standing up when that North London song came on. The whole the way through, the aggression, the drive, everything that we put in. But the team just put in a masterclass. They genuinely put a masterclass display. I just want to see them go even quicker. Because Melvin, I think there's another gear with this lot that they could get up. Bit of nerves at the beginning, but mate, we made a very good team look bang average. We really did.
I thought we started
first 15, 20 minutes. But what happened was it's when you look at the passing, we did like 600-700 passes, but absolutely unbelievable. They had 4 shots on goal. 6 shots on goal, 2 of them on target, and we had like 16 or 20. I'll tell you in a sec. But I just think that the passing, the recycling of the ball could be a little bit quicker, and we'd be more fun. And I said last week when Rob was on, the Tottenham fan, I said to him last week, I hope to God you put 5 in the midfield because you're going to see us boss you. Because what Brentford's done, what a whole load of others that have tried to put a 5 in the midfield, there's massive space. And Martinelli, oh my God. Chelsea, forget it. He ain't going anywhere. He is not going anywhere. He is signing for us. That kid is our player, as is Saka, as is Saliba, all those guys. Because ultimately, why would you want to leave that? Why would you want to leave what this fan base is doing, the way we're driving, all that energy, all that positive, and even when it was 1-1, because Melvin, I don't know if you remember, it got a little bit, it was a bit angsty, wasn't it? Like when they went in at half time, everything feel not anger rising as such, but just frustration for the play. So sorry, Rich, long story. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. My heart rate was, I dread to think what my blood pressure and heart rate was like. I hugged for it, and that poor bloke that's had the ticket sitting next to me. I really apologise because I hugged him so much all the way through the game. It's just me being friendly.
No, I'm sure he enjoyed that as well. But I mean, that's what North London Derby is about, isn't it? You know, it's about the emotions and it's about all of that kind of stuff that goes with it as well. Because it's not just about the actual match itself, is it? It's all the other stuff that goes with it at North London Derby, and even much better, of course, when you get the right result and play as well as we did, which was great. I mean, Neil, that was. I mean, we just mentioned Saliba there. I mean, Steve was sort of mentioning Saliba. That was an absolute masterclass from him, wasn't it? I mean, what a performance. It was flawless. He was absolutely flawless. Again, I mean, what a player he's turning out to be, isn't he? William Saliba, wow.
He's not world class, though. Don't forget. Don't say
No, not yet. He's not. He's only played 8 games, whatever it is. But yeah, he may well become world class.
Just an inside joke, guys. Just an inside joke. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's completely changed everything for us at the back. He's authoritative, he's composed, he's calm, he runs. It doesn't look like he's getting anywhere, but he's quick. He's got agility, he's got everything you want in nothing but a pure athlete, which is perfected for that role, honestly. My God, the fact that he's so young and he's just so way ahead of everything, the way he reads the game, it's just mesmerizing. You know, it didn't give Kane nothing at all. And I've got to say, let's not forget Ben White, because I think Ben White made some fantastic contributions to that game. I think sometimes he can be a very unsung hero, and I think he did a lot in that game, which may have gone unnoticed to quite a few. And I want to give him a big shout out, and I think he's a great player to have in the ranks. But Saliba is. I don't know how much more accolades and how much more we can laud the lad, because he feels like he's a seasoned pro, that he's been doing it for years and years, and he hasn't. And it's refreshing to see, because we haven't had the likes of him. We haven't had the defence set up the likes of this for a long time. Ever since we had the famous back four, the Adams, the Keown, Sol Campbell, Bode. We're now starting to see some of that return to our club. And you've got to remember, every football team, the basis is foundation. The foundation starts at the back. I know George Graham was a big thing for this. Like, let's work from the back, make sure our defence is perfect. Then we can move further up the field. But, if you haven't got a proper defence, it's harder for the creative players to do what they do. It's harder for them to give the strikers the options, because everyone's worrying about blooming defending and leaking goals. And it's great that you touched on Ramsdale. Ramsdale, he didn't have much to do, but when he was called upon, he did it. And I think Steve made a good point that could have been a big moment in the game, because that save gives everyone else so much more confidence that gosh, we've made the save. It's still 0-0, and it's infectious. And that positivity remains. You've got the fans that are amazing at the moment. And Rich, don't worry. When we are down, I mean, I've been to great games where we've been absolutely rubbish. And there's still the differences. Before, we would be booing, or the fans would be upset and whistling and jeering. Now, it doesn't matter. Even when we're having bad spells, they are so behind the team. I do believe, and I agree with you, whoever said it earlier, it might have been Melvin, I'm starting to feel that Emirates could start becoming our new home. I never felt it before either, Melvin. I always felt that Highbury was the place for me. The Emirates just never felt that way. Even when it won a few FA Cups, it just didn't feel right. And now I think we're getting there. Never will touch Highbury, don't get me wrong. Highbury, for me, just this personal thing, will always be our true home. However, it's starting to feel that way. And you know what it is? It's not down to the bricks and mortar. It's down to the supporters. It's down to their input and what they give, and it's a massive turnaround. But Saliba, everyone talks about Haaland and what he's doing for Man City. We've got Saliba. I think in equal measure, what Saliba is doing for us, our defence, and I think attackers are scared. Attackers are like, bloody hell, how do we deal with this bloke? Because nothing phases him, Rich. That's the biggest point. He's just so mature, and the couple of times he has made errors, it's almost like he just bounces off him. You know, he just gets on with it. And one more thing I'll make at one point, I'll make it very quickly. My idea was that Gabriel would be his mentor. I think it's the other way around. I think now Saliba's almost becoming Gabriel's mentor. If the pairing's got a weakness, it's actually Gabriel at the minute. And I hope Gabriel sorts himself out very quickly. And you know what? They are going to be such a formidable pairing. It's untrue. But yeah, brilliant from Saliba.
Well, I think what summed it up for me, sorry to cut across you here. I'm just been saying it. I'm getting excited thinking about it again. The nutmeg that he did on Troglodyte Dyer, that in their box, as a central defender, nutmegs him in their box and just could not care less. Like I really don't. Yeah, there you go, mate. I've just put it through your legs. That's why you're second class team. That's what he brings. Yeah, it is amazing.
He is amazing, and I mean, I think Neil made a good point about Gabriel. Actually, at this moment in time, he seems to be having a mistake in him nearly every game, doesn't he? One reason or another, it was his mistake for the penalty that gave Tottenham the goal, and it isn't the first time he's done that, unfortunately, this season. And yes, I agree. At the start of the season, we all thought Gabriel was going to be the leader and helping Saliba along, and actually, what's turned out, 8 games in, actually, Saliba's the leader at the back. And Gabriel is maybe having to now. He's going to have to start stepping up his game, I think, because you know he's fallen behind, and he's a little bit of I won't say he's a liability yet, but he's making mistakes in every game, and they can be costly mistakes often as well. So he needs to. He does need to improve.
He's not Mustafi.
He's not on that level of mistakes yet. No, but ultimately he is tending to make a mistake every game at this moment in time, and luckily it's not costing us. Saliba's bailing him out a few times, and the team in general are, you know, making up for it. I say, you know, he conceded a goal and he came back and we came back and got more. And we've had quite a few comments actually come in since we've been on the air. Regenera's in the chat. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. And we've got Loki as well. How you doing, Loki? Good to see you again. He says there, Loki says, I predicted 3-1. Them chicken feathers flew. Yeah, a good prediction indeed. Terry as well. Doing, Terry? Good to see you, mate. He says, evening, Richard, Steve, Magic, and nice guy, Neil. Yeah, Neil's excited tonight as always. And Terry says hello to Loki and Magenda as well. James in the chat as well. He says, champions, Neil, indeed. Neil thinks we are going to be champions, and why not at this time? Loki says, evening, Terry as well. And Terry says, I thought it was a pile of rubbish. It was only Spurs, for God's sake. Get a grip, you four. No, I mean, you're right. Obviously, Spurs are rubbish. We know they're rubbish. But they've still got to be beaten, haven't they? And they got beaten comprehensively, which was nice. James says there, how did Son play, Steve? Old, underrated.
I've taken it. Behave yourself now, James. I've taken it live on air. Yes, I was wrong. He got battered. He got useless. And the other one is the capitulation. You're 3-1 down. Let me take all my strikers off. Oh, we're saving them for the Champions League. We're going to get kicked out of that anyway because Lisbon had put a beat down on you like nobody's. So show your capitulation right there by taking all of your strikers off and bringing a bunch of Neanderthals on to try and stop us. You still couldn't stop us.
No, indeed. James says there, obviously, about the fans. He said we've got a generation of Arsenal fans that have never seen us win the league. No, exactly, they haven't. So they're getting right into it and right. So exactly, yeah. I mean, and hopefully they'll have to wait as long as some of us had to initially when we started watching Arsenal to see us win the league. But we'll see. And James says it was good to get a result against that underrated side. He's determined to rub that in, isn't he, Steve?
James, come on, behave. I'm saying sorry. I'm saying sorry live on air.
Yeah, no, that's right. Loki says must say Son was poorer than I expected. He was actually. I thought that was he had a terrible game. His passing was off. He just didn't do anything, did he? We've got Michael in the chat here from Arsenal above all. He says, evening all in the chat. Good to see so many happy faces. Been an emotional weekend. It has been an emotional weekend.
Yes.
And don't forget to check out Arsenal above all's the channel that Michael's got as well. Great stuff. I know Neil's on there as well, and James as well. As it's good to see them as well. And James says, tell him, Neil, Van Dijk goes to sleep in Saliba pajamas. Well, he probably will be. He definitely will be. So I think we all will be going to sleep in Saliba pajamas.
Hopefully Sunday, mate.
Yeah, well, let's see. Sunday's going to be big. We'll talk about that soon. Loki says, Martinelli puts a smile on my miserable face. It will be top world class if he stays fit. He's certainly improving week after week, isn't he? He just looks an unbelievable player at this moment in time. Regenda says their Partey was a difference. Yeah, Partey had a great game as well. What a great goal that was as well. And Regenda says, I disagree. Gabby is our premium defender. His work rate is making Saliba look so good. Well, I don't know. I mean, at this moment in time, Saliba is the elite defender out of the two, I think. And Gabriel's got a bit more work to do to up to that level. But at the moment, it doesn't matter because they're complementing each other well, and that's the main thing. I mean, we have to talk about Partey's goal, really, don't we? I mean, apparently, I think he's had 35 shots or something, and that's the first one that's gone in. And it was worth the wait, wasn't it? I mean, Melvin, what a goal that was. I mean, first time, 25 yards, top corner, bang. I mean, it's like he does it every day, and he clearly doesn't.
As he hits it, I mean, I'm by the side, so I wasn't behind it, but as he hit it, I thought, wow, this could go in for a split second. I thought, hold on a minute, it's Partey.
Thomas Partey.
I wasn't excited for a split second. And then obviously see the keeper go across and him like hit the net and everything. Oh, fabulous goal. Sweet. Absolutely sweet. Brilliant. Well, as I say, there's a lot of practice of that though, isn't he? So I think when the ball's on the deck, I thought instead of shooting, he might put his head on the ground and hit it with his head. But no, he can do it with his feet. So he'll probably get a few now, hopefully. Now that he's broken his duck.
He did. I noticed actually, obviously, other shots that he's had, he hasn't maybe set himself right, and they've all gone high over the crossbar. But after that goal, he had a couple of other shots that got hit a defender, but they were both kind of low and looking like they were as though he's maybe got a better technique with it now to hit him, maybe, and maybe that's giving him the confidence perhaps. We'll see. Hopefully we'll go on and score a few more because that's what we need, don't we? We need goals from everywhere in the team. It'd be nice if he starts banging in a few more, from that sort of range again. But I think we're all surprised when every time you see him ready to shoot outside the box, you think, don't shoot, Thomas Partey, don't shoot, pass it. And this time he shot and it went in, and that's we won't be shouting don't shoot anymore, will we? It'd be like John Jensen. Remember, we didn't want him to shoot, and then he scored, and then suddenly we're all like, "Go on, shoot every time you get it." And he didn't score again, of course. But I'm sure Thomas Partey will. But I mean, it's the other midfield player again. He's got Player of the Month, Granit Xhaka. I mean, wow, what is going on with Granit Xhaka? I mean, I've always been a big fan of his anyway, and I always knew that he had something more to give us than he was maybe always been able to show. But his performances recently have just gone to a different level. I mean, I remember people saying, we'll never finish top four with Granit Xhaka in the team. Well, I'm sorry, but we may well finish more than just top four with Granit Xhaka in the team. Now we've got the right structure around him. I mean, Steve, he's been brilliant, hasn't he? Granit Xhaka has been amazing.
Considering he's not world class and doesn't actually play for any international teams or anything like that. No, I think he has been a revelation. And look, I'm not going to lie. I've not been his biggest fan since the incident. But what that guy has done and the way that he stepped up, he's free. I think it's the freedom that he's been given to actually express himself. Because I genuinely thought he was going to take Lloris's head off with that shot had Lloris got in the way. Oh my God, that bloke is just busting nets left, right, and centre. And for Thomas Partey, I think somebody's actually said to him, it's like, look over your boot just before you hit it, and then you ain't going to knock the thing straight up. That was an amazing, but it was the build-up play. There's like 40-odd passes to get to that shot. Perfectly in there. Granit Xhaka, though, getting everybody back. I'd love to know what when they're all in that huddle after that goal. What do you think? What was he saying? What was he actually saying to them to bring them on? And Odegaard again is just.
Actually, Steve, I think I know exactly what he was saying. I think that's what he was saying. I mean, that's exactly what he was saying to him in that huddle.
I'm sure I heard. It might be my ear. I don't know what it was, but it was interesting because he's taken this sort of sub-captain, captain kind of role that's going on, and I think he's our pseudo captain without anybody really knowing. But he's always had an amazing pass on him. He's always had that capability, and he's always had it in him. And I think someone's done some anger management with him because Højbjerg was on him all game, absolutely all over him, and he just brushed him off, batted him off, batted the whole lot off. And watching him, I just think it's the enthusiasm, the drive, and everything that goes in. And when the fans are singing it, we were singing. When's the last time you heard us sing for Xhaka? I mean, admittedly, it was the Crystal Palace song at the very end, but we're all singing Xhaka. It's unheard of, but he has been a revelation. He's been absolutely brilliant. Long may it continue. His disciplinary record is actually exemplary. Now it's absolutely exemplary. And I think anyone goes on about the Emerson Royale super large chicken meal from KFC and his red card, right? So they talk about that. If Xhaka had done that on Kane, right, they literally would have manhandled him off that pitch. But he didn't. He kept over. So I think it's an attitude change. It's the love from the fans again. He is in love with his football because you don't score goals like that when you're a bit angsty. Just look at Aubameyang and where he is right now and the way that he was at the end of his time. So I think he's a revelation, and long may it continue. Yes, we need another DM. Yes, we need someone to back him up for sure. And I'm not saying we don't, because he's part of it. But honestly, this new Xhaka, I'm absolutely loving what he's doing. And I just want him to just keep playing, just keep his head, just keep your head with what he's doing, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, what I've always liked about him is his attitude, really. I mean, yes, sometimes his performance on the pitch was not always to the level that we all wanted him to be at times, and even I accept that. I've been a big fan of his, but it was always his attitude I liked. He was always the first one to celebrate goals with a team. He seemed to be the leader of the group, and and even now it's gone on to another level. And it's good to see a player that has had a difficult time and come through a really bad time with the fans to now he's basically, I say, to be voted player of the month by the fans on Arsenal website just goes to show the turnaround's complete now, isn't it, for him? That the turnaround from rock bottom, that game against Crystal Palace, which was virtually 3 years ago to the week almost, and for him now to get player of the month from the fans is incredible. And you've got to say what resilience and character he's had to come through that, to stay at the club. When he almost left, he stayed at the club, and now he's so important to the way that we play, and it's brilliant to see. And I couldn't be more happy for him actually that he's turned it around so brilliantly. I mean, my only concern, Neil, and I know you don't like listening to concerns, but my only slight concern is, we've got now coming up, we've got 2 games a week, Europa League, Premier League, Europa League, Premier League. The squad is now going to start to be stretched. We haven't really had that so far. We've only played 1 Europa League game due to the other issues and stuff like that. Now, the season's really kicking in, isn't it? We've got 2 games a week. It's a tough schedule between now and the World Cup, and then we're coming back from the World Cup, and it's going to be a really tough schedule, assuming we get through the Europa League group stage. It's going to be a really tough schedule after the World Cup. Now, my slight concern is the depth of the squad. I think we've got 15 really top quality players that can do a great job. If we get 2 or 3 key injuries at the same time, that's my concern. I mean, are you worried about now with the games coming thick and fast, which are going to be, that is this squad going to be good enough to keep the momentum going in the Premier League, progressing in Europe? Obviously, the Carabao Cup's coming, the FA Cup. Is the squad good enough and strong enough to cope with all of this?
One word, yes. I agree with you. Key injuries is going to be, I've said right from the start, 2 things that can beat us: key injuries or our own complacency. Nothing else, not even Haaland. And at the end of the day,
well, we've only got to face him twice, Neil, so that's fine. He's got 6 goals in them 2 games. That's it.
One will be one win, one be a draw. It's 4 points to us, easy, job done. No, seriously, I don't. Yeah, of course, Rich. If you get key injuries, that's going to be devastating for us. It really is. I mean, unfortunately, we've had that bad run of luck for many years where we've been doing quite well. We've been having a good run. And then come February, March, something happens. One of the
Percy got injured or whatever it was.
Eduardo that year. Yeah. It just seems to happen to us, and then it kind of, the whole thing collapses. But as it stands, I think we've got a fairly fit squad, barring Emil Smith-Rowe and maybe 1 or 2 others. Emil Smith-Rowe hopefully will be back, hopefully by the start of the year at least. Yeah. So apart from that, we're doing okay. And until we get those injuries, touch wood, we won't. But if we do, I don't think there's any worry. I mean, look at. I mean, if you think about Thursday, we've already can probably make 7 or 8 changes, and we've still got good players in their place. So if you like, Tierney will come in, Tomiyasu will come in. You'll have potentially Nketiah will come in up front. Marquinhos, Vieira. That's 5 or 6 already. Turner, 5 or 6 already named. I think he'll probably go with 2 or 3 of the players that started on Saturday, just to keep that, I don't know, seniority or experience in there. But I think we'll see quite a few wholesome changes. No, not at the moment, Rich. I think we are all worried about, I think, mainly the central defensive position. I think at the moment, Partey and Xhaka are unreal. I think you could have given man of the match to either of the 2 the other day. I actually shaded Partey, but, at the end of the day, officially Xhaka got it, but there's no complaints from me. But, they've built such a good rapport and relationship with each other. I mean, I think Xhaka's playing the way he is because Partey's doing what he's doing in his role, and that's given the enterprise to Xhaka to do his bits. You know, he's almost become a box to box at times, and we're seeing stuff which we probably saw him do for his country and as captain. And he's replicating it now. We never understood why he couldn't do it for us, but it's probably because of the wrong set of players,
the structure of the team around him wasn't right, was it?
Yeah, everything. And now it's all clicked in for him, and he's like a brand new signing. It's ridiculous. But you know, if something happens to one of them, I think we could hurt us. It could hurt us. I know we got Vieira who could come in, and he looks like a great prospect, by the way. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, he scored a similar great goal, didn't he? That Partey did. So. Not at the moment, Rich. You know, if something happens, if there's suspensions, stroke injuries, then maybe then we might need to reevaluate. But I've got a feeling, Rich, and I think you actually said this. Look, don't worry. He hasn't made the signing that we might wanted at the end of the transfer window in summer. But the World Cup isn't far away. Once that happens, then we're into the hope, you know, quite near into the January window. And I've got this real suspicion that he's going to probably not sign one key player, but I think two. I think we're going to get two players in January, and certainly one of them will be a defensive midfielder. So I've got no concerns at the moment. No.
I mean, my only worry would be if Jesus and Saliba were both injured at the same time, then we may see a different Arsenal than what we're seeing, because those two are so key at both ends of the pitch, aren't they, to the improvements that we're making. So let's, like you said, touch wood that neither of them do get injured at all. I mean, Melvin, I want to talk about that red card actually, because I was amazed when the red card was produced for it, actually. Even when you see replays, it was a little bit high on his ankle. What did you make of that? I mean, when at the time, live in the stadium, was you shocked it was a red card, or did you expect it to be a red card?
I was only shocked because I wasn't sitting at that side. It was completely outside on the touchline. So we thought it was a foul. I thought it was a nasty foul. It looks like a yellow. I'll be honest with you. When I saw it again on telly when I got home, it's a sending off. It's, you know, I've seen sending offs far less for players getting sent off for that. At the end of the day, there was no reason. He didn't go near the ball. He didn't go for the ball. It was nasty. So I don't know what is the defence for it not being a yellow card, not being a red card. Can you seriously? It's a serious question. What is the defence for it not being a red card?
I'm not saying there is much defence. I mean, I suppose it wasn't overly aggressive, was it? What he was trying to do, I think, was he was just trying to trip him up to stop the attack. And I think he was just trying to trip him up, and he'd obviously got it wrong. He's missed time, but he's caught him high up on the ankle.
Richard,
but I'm not saying it wasn't a red card.
What attack? He was running towards his goal.
Yeah, but just to, you know, that's what you do, don't you? To try to, you know, it's like taking a yellow card for the team sometimes, isn't it? You make a foul, you trip someone up just to, you know, to stop them having the ball at that particular point. You can regroup, you can get your players back in position to defend a free kick. And, you know, at that point in the pitch, on halfway line, or just inside the Arsenal half, it was like, it's a good place to give away a free kick in a way, isn't it? From a defensive perspective.
Yeah, not your studs showing and standing
I thought looking at it, he was just trying to trip him up. That's what I thought he was trying to do. He was trying to trip him up.
You play a game, if you want to trip someone up, you put your foot across them. You don't stand down and trip people up.
No, I don't think he stamped down, did he? He sort of he put his foot like that, didn't he? He put his foot like that.
Down.
Yeah, I mean, it was a red card. I was just surprised it was given, because it didn't look to be a aggressive challenge, did it? It didn't look an aggressive challenge. It wasn't really an aggressive challenge, was it? It was a coward's challenge, actually, because
it was a coward. That's a perfect thing. It was a coward's challenge. I said that at the time when I saw it on the tin. It's a coward's challenge.
Yeah,
could like that and have no worry about what injury you may or may not do to the other player, because the ball was nowhere to be seen. Then you're walking a tightrope. But he wasn't unlucky. He was just, it happened. He gave the referee an opportunity to brand the red card, and he got it.
He did. He gave
sorry for him, not because he's Spurs, any player.
No
sympathy from me at all. Sorry.
No. I mean, I don't think anyone's got any sympathy for him, but I was just surprised at the time it was a red card. That was all. Just, you know, I was just surprised it was. I mean, did you think that was a red card, Steve? I mean, I think probably unanimously, the chat seems to be unanimous.
I just couldn't care less. I hope he gets banned forever. Couldn't give a flying thingy. No, ultimately, I think it was a soft red, you know, but again, how many times that gone against us? I actually think, all in all, I'm going to be provocative here. I don't think the ref had too bad a game. We had one or two that go against us, but I didn't think he was particularly bad.
No, I didn't. I actually agree with you. I didn't think he was.
I genuinely believe that Richarlison should have been probably taken out and shot. Chicken Royale, yeah, absolutely. Just get back, have an early bath, pal, because we were going to beat them whatever happens. Couldn't care less. It was a nasty tackle from what I could see. The way he brought his foot down, and again, couldn't happen to a nicer team, really. But I did say, listen, I said, I'm going to say, and for all the people, have a look at last week. I turned around and said, Martinelli is going to skin him alive, going to absolutely do him. Sure enough, he did exactly that. It was a total and utter pain. And, he's got a red card for it, for just being a total and utter a useless thing. I can't believe we were actually going in for him as well. Like, I can't believe that
were we really, though? I don't know. Was there much... Was we really going in for him? I don't know, because he looks pretty hopeless, if you ask me.
If you watch the game again, just before that, he left his foot in a couple of times with Martinelli. Just before that, when Martinelli went on that long run, when he took 3 of them down the touchline, when he got the ball the next time, he just left his foot in there a little bit. Royale. And he done a couple of times like that, and he was obviously I've got to stop you from running, mate. And that's what's in his mind, or he was in his head. Martinelli was obviously in his head. And
he was getting quick question for everybody. Sorry, Rich. I know you're the compere here, mate.
No, go on.
But last week, Rob turned around and said Richarlison, Martinelli, or Richarlison, Jesus. No question. Yeah, Richarlison every day. Now, I'm just going to give you my opinion, but I really would like to get the feedback. I can't stop laughing. I'm choking so hard listening to that comment now, listening again. The guy is a muppet. He's an absolute muppet. Like, so how even the Brazilian coach can even think about putting Richarlison in over Jesus, let alone over Martinelli. I have no idea. What do you boys think? Because I just think he's useless.
I mean, I think Richarlison and Jesus are different type of players in different sort of positions, aren't they? I think Richarlison would more be comparable to Martinelli because they play a similar kind of role in the team. And obviously, at this moment in time, Martinelli's levels above Richarlison. I do think Richarlison's a decent player, and I do think he's caused us several problems in previous games he's played against us for various teams over the years, and I do think he's a good player. He didn't have a great game on Saturday, but I do think he's a good player. But yeah, Martinelli, of course, is at this moment in time he's levels above Richarlison, isn't it? Of course he is. Every week we're seeing it, but I wouldn't necessarily say Richarlison's a bad player. I think he's good. He's a decent player, Richarlison. He's just at this moment in time he's not playing particularly well at the moment, is he? Maybe that's partly to do with the fact that he's not playing regular games, is he? He's on the bench a lot. He's only just started getting into the starting level, hasn't he?
Our boys, our Brazilians, absolutely all day long, so much better than miles ahead. Not even there. Sorry, Melvin, mate. I'll shut up.
No. What I think, if you're asking me, I think Richarlison is a good player, very good player. It would be much better if he concentrated on football, not cheating, and starting fights with everyone. Everyone's against him. He gives that attitude that everyone hates him. I just wish he'd concentrate on his football and he might get a better result. I just hate watching him play. I dislike the faces he pulls, the falling over he does, the rolling when he gets tackled. Listen, we all know if you get tackled hard and it hurts, the last thing you do is roll. You do not roll. You stay there. And the refs fall for it and the crowds fall for it. I don't fall for it. I know what he's like. Horrible, nasty piece of work. He's the first one when the geezer Royale got sent off. He was trying to pull bloody Martinelli up. How dare he? So who do you think you are, mate? The judge and jury? I mean, sorry, he's a nasty bit of work, and it's a shame that he's on the telly and I've got to watch him. I'll probably turn over. I'll normally turn over if it's Spurs anyway, unless they're getting beat. But if he's on, I'll turn off even quicker.
No, I mean, I kind of agree, but I do think he's a talented player. He kind of reminds me a little bit of his attitude of Rafinha, actually, who was at Leeds. Kind of quite similar to that attitude that they've got. Maybe it's a Brazilian thing. Maybe Brazilians generally are a little bit like that. Our Brazilians don't seem to be quite.
Rafinha's better, though. Rafinha's a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, Rafinha's a more complete player, I think so. But yeah, I do think Richarlison's a good player. But yeah, he's not in the same level as Martinelli at this moment in time. I mean, Neil, I guess we know what your answer would be to Steve's question.
Oh yeah, you don't need to have me answer that one. But what I will say about the red card, what surprised me was it not. I mean, it was a red card all day long in my book. I think it could have done Martinelli some serious damage there. Could have cost him a season or even longer. So God, thank goodness he got up, because I was really worried at the time.
Yeah.
When he was on the floor, I thought, God, no, please, no, not now. I felt for the kid, as much as I want the club to succeed and do good things. At that moment in time, I was feeling for him, because he's such a lovely guy, and he wants to play football, and he wants to progress, and he's getting better game by game. And I thought, if this, I can't swear, if this thing is
village idiot.
Yeah, all right, that's it. The troglodyte, that's the one you say, isn't it? Yeah, I'll use that. Orc. If that orc has done this to him, I was really concerned. So I was so happy when I got up. What surprised me was a red card all day long. But what surprised me was actually given. For once we got a bit of the officiating on our side. So that's what surprised me. But not
and it was Anthony Taylor as well. Anthony Taylor normally doesn't give us anything, does he? So so even more surprising.
And I'm going to say this before you might get onto it. I've been hearing that. Oh, it's the red card that turned the game. No, it wasn't the red card that turned the game. We were already on. We were already on top, and we would have won that game in any case. And the point is this. And the point is this: if even with 11 men, in fact, I think we probably might have gone to score 4 or 5, because they may have still been going for it and then leaving us the gaps up front. So I'm sorry. That's whoever says that needs their head testing.
No, I don't think that the red card made any difference whatsoever to the result. It's I suppose it just gives Tottenham a little bit of something to come back on, doesn't it? And in a way, I would have preferred if they hadn't had a red card and that we'd beaten them with 11 players, and then they would have had no excuses and nothing to come back to us with, would they? It would have been attacked, but
I won't, Rich. I won't have that. When your manager takes off all your strike force, other than the other idiot,
but he wouldn't have done that, would he? He wouldn't have done that, would he, if they had 11 players?
But it don't matter. Like, when you take your strike force off, irrelevant. Look at us against Man City. Look at us against Liverpool. Look at us against Tottenham, when we played them last time, 10 men. We didn't mess about. We didn't hold back. We didn't take our strikers off, right?
We got hammered.
Capitulation. Yeah, and a hammer. Capitulation. That's what it was. Admitting that you're defeated, admitting that there's a better team there, admitting that you couldn't actually handle it. Time and every time Conte turns up to the Emirates, he gets beatings, right? You got to take strikers off, right? Sorry, total and utter coward.
No, it was. No, I agree. It was a strange decision, the substitutions that he made. But ultimately, you're saying we didn't do that at Man City. We lost 5-0. We didn't do it against Tottenham. We lost 3-0.
They came to us. We were down to 10 men. Mate, we battered them. We absolutely. If it wasn't for what's his name, old Tierney, the Mancunian ref, right? We would have won that game on New Year's Day. This is the one that I bring up over and over and over again. We fought 10 men, fought against the best team.
No, we did. We did. No, we did.
So you cannot. And all Conte did was take his strikers off. And I'll just put a load of defenders on that will try and stop us, because we're getting such a hiding from such a team with such a better atmosphere, with such classier. I'm talking about classier fans, right? I don't put myself in that barrier, in that banner, right? We were given such a hiding. He had to actually take his strikers off, because he knew full well the game was lost and gone. So take Arroyo. You could put another player. You put 12 on, right? We'd bring our under 12 team and still beat them. Because that's how much better we were than them.
Steve, Jamie O'Hara said that he took them up because he saved them for the Champions League.
Jamie, come on and tell me that.
So
but what we've got to remember, Neil, is Jamie O'Hara talks a lot of nonsense, so we don't listen to him. We don't listen to anything he's got to say. Unless he comes on here, then we'll listen to what he's got to say.
I only put that in because I wanted Steve's reaction to get him.
Yeah, Jamie, come on. You come and say it to my face, yeah? I'm half a bottle of wine and I'll take anyone on right now.
I mean, to be fair, I think if any week Jamie O'Hara was going to come on, it certainly wasn't going to be this week after Arsenal had just thrashed Tottenham in the derby, is it?
Laura talking to him this morning, though.
I didn't understand.
He might come on maybe next time we play Tottenham, but he's not certainly going to come on this week, was he? But anyway,
we're still going to beat them.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will.
If we've got a fit team, right? The other part you need to remember, the other thing as well with Conte, right, and all of this. Last time that we beat them 3-1, they kicked their manager out. They got rid of him. And Conte, and if Conte goes on a bit of a losing streak, he might not actually be at the next North London derby.
Maybe he won't. We'll have to see.
I'll be surprised if he goes this quickly, but who knows? He never stays around very long, does he? Conte, it's in his, just his career so far.
He doesn't like the Emirates, right? He gets a beating. Like Conte gets battered everywhere he goes, mate.
Well, he gets battered at the Emirates quite a lot. James says Rayo's foul was a straight red card with the intent to do Martinelli's medial ligaments. Absolute coward's challenge agreement. Yeah, well, it was a coward's challenge. There's no doubt about that. And Rajendra says Martinelli is younger. Richarlison has been there longer. Yeah, obviously he's younger. Yeah, and so he's going to improve even more than what he is now, isn't he? Whereas maybe Richarlison's at his kind of top level. Maybe he's probably not going to get any better, is he? James says Partey is a metronome in midfield. It allows Xhaka to focus on more offensive play, which he's clearly better at. Brilliant improvement from Granit. Yeah, it is. I mean, although having said that, the couple of games where Thomas Partey missed, I thought Granit Xhaka still played well. When Lukonga was in there. So yes, it helps obviously, but I feel as though Xhaka is on his own doing well anyway, without Partey as well. So, but yeah, I mean, I think we've pretty much covered Tottenham, haven't we? Let's be honest. I mean, I think we've wasted too much time on them already, really. But it's just nice to beat them. And before we move on. Just in case there was any doubt left about it, which I'm sure there isn't, but just in case anyone had any doubts, I thought we'd just make sure that they didn't. But obviously now, having beaten Tottenham as we usually do, we can now focus on resuming European campaign, which is going to be quite an interesting game, I'm sure, on Thursday. Now, I'm sure we all know loads and loads of stuff about Bode Glimt because, one, they've got a fantastic name, and two, we've never ever played them before, ever, in history, which is great. Melvin, what do you know about Bode Glimt, other than the fact that they're Norwegian and they're probably used to the cold weather?
Have you got a postage stamp on you?
Yeah.
Because with capitals, if I write with capitals, I don't get one word in. Well, actually, I don't know anything about them, to be honest. Norwegian, fine. I'm just going to go there Thursday, watch the game, enjoy myself, watch a lot of people play for Arsenal that haven't had a chance this season and see what they can do. I'm happy to see Marquinhos. I'm looking forward to seeing him play for 90 minutes live. I've seen him on the box do it, and I was quite impressed in the away leg with the earlier team he played. I'm happy to see, again, Vieira play 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see Tommy get a run out, Tierney get a run out, and the goalie, you've got to give Ryan a chance. Is it Ryan?
Turner, Matt Turner.
Matt Turner. Why say Ryan Turner? Matt Turner a chance. I know. I'm just happy to see some players that step up to it in a small game and see how they can then push on for the bigger prize.
Reece Nelson. It'd be nice to see Reece Nelson again.
Yeah, I forgot about him, Reece Nelson.
Yeah, he's been training, hasn't he? He's been in training, so he's fit again.
I'll tell you what, I think next year's his testimonial, isn't it?
Probably. He's been here a long time, hasn't he? And never really pushed on, has he, unfortunately? But yeah, he may feature. He may be on the bench. I don't know if he'll start the game. He may possibly.
If he was good enough for the bench on Saturday, I think he should start on Thursday.
Totally
I mean, we can't make any decisions, or Arteta can't make any decisions on the team till he speaks to Richard Keith, of course. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Richard Keith runs football, so he's in charge of everything, isn't he? So, we should have got him on, actually, because he'd have told us everything about Bode Glimt that we didn't know about. I'm sure he would have all the information available to him. I'm sure Steve's got a bit more information about Bode Glimt. Have you, Steve, since you were going to go to the away leg?
Mate, I have pulled my Bode Glimt on a regular basis. So, this is a family show, so we won't talk about that. Actually, do you know what? They're having a bit of an up and down season, to be honest with you. So,
they are.
Yeah, and they are. But when they're winning it, they're knocking a few goals in. But when I looked at so I've been looking at going to the game, and it's like about 15 hours to kind of get there from Gatwick. So I don't think I'll be going to the away leg, but. Neil, are you going, by the way, on Thursday? Awesome. Why don't we have a little meet up then? We'll have a meet up there because I've actually got a spare ticket. So anyone wants a spare ticket, give me a shout, DM me. But look, I just I want to see Marquinhos. I want to see Vieira play. I want to see Reece Nelson get a chance. I want to see Eddie. actually get a good run out. You know, I want to see I want to see some of the younger players starting and blooded into this. But you know, when you look at that as a team, you look at what we're talking about. It's actually a really bloody good team. It's really quite strong, you know. So Rob Holding, your old favourite, Rich. I know you're a big fan of his. So bringing Rob in and being able to have that sort of senior head to it. I don't want to see Partey. I don't want to see Xhaka. I don't want to see those players on. I just don't want to see them. Potentially Zinchenko. Did you see the little cuddle that Zinchenko was doing on Partey? It was like a big spoon, little spoon thing going on, which was just a little bit off-putting for me. So I want to see a really good blend. So we can bring some of those players, Tommy Ashu, Tierney, and I still think Tommy Ashu should have played on Saturday. But, you know, when I talk about that team, you know, we talk about injuries and stuff. Saliba get injured potentially, or if Gabriel gets injured. But we've got Ben White that can move into there. You've got Tommy Ashley that can come in on the right. You've got Zinchenko. You've got Tierney. We've actually got a good team. So, and I think actually the World Cup break's going to do us the world of good. I believe. So, what am I thinking? What am I thinking for Thursday? I think actually we're going to destroy them. I think we're going to wipe them off the floor because, you know, we've got such a powerful B team effectively that sits around it. So I want to see, because, you know, Reece Nelson's, I like Reece Nelson. He's done particularly well while he was over in Holland as well. So, and I've been a big fan of his. And I just want to see him. And Reece, you're always welcome on the show, by the way. If you ever want to come on, just bring Jamie O'Hara with you so I can have a little chat with him. But I genuinely want to see some of those players. I can't wait to see Marquinhos. I just genuinely cannot wait to see Marquinhos. It's going to be absolutely brilliant.
No, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he was fantastic, wasn't he, in Zurich a few weeks ago? What a great debut that was. Actually, one thing we do know about. Well, one thing I found out about Bode Glimt is actually Glimt means it means flash in English. So
quick flash.
They're a flash team, yeah. I don't know if it's a flash the bathroom cleaner or whether it's flash as in lightning flash. I'm not sure, but it means flash apparently.
Yeah.
So that, you know, they're going to be quite.
Do they wear shorts? Do they wear shorts with their kit?
Shorts.
Well, that's why they might be called Flash. They don't wear shorts.
Oh, I see what you mean. Maybe maybe they don't bring their shorts. Yeah, maybe it'll be that sort of flash. Who knows? We'll have to see. But anyway, that's what it means anyway in English. Glimt means flash. So there you go. So that's one thing that we do know about, and they are the reigning champions in Norway as well. Which, Whatever that's worth, I don't know, because you know, I don't know.
Who was it last season? No, they gave someone a real torrid time last season. I don't think it was Tottenham, because I don't think they quite made it.
No, they knocked Celtic out of the Conference League last season. They did knock Celtic out. Again, you know, how big an achievement's that when it's the Scottish League? We don't know, but anyway, they did beat Celtic home and away. They did 5-1 on aggregate in the Conference League. So yeah, they've got that behind them as well. Terry's in the chat. He says he's got to go. He's got work. You've always got work, Terry. You need to chill, man. I tell you.
He's got to have his boiler section. We need to have 5 minutes. Terry on boiler.
He said they're a great week, Richard, Magic, Steve, and nice guy Neil, and everyone in the chat. Indeed, have a good week yourself, mate. We obviously there's lots of stuff going on this week on the channel, so I'm sure we'll see you again very, very soon. I mean, Neil, obviously you're going on Thursday as well, so looking forward to seeing Marquinhos. I'm sure, as everybody is, because he's got some potential, that boy, hasn't he?
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. Number one, because I can't wait for any game anymore. I'm looking forward to every single one of them. But this will be slightly different because obviously we're going to have changes. We're going to see some different faces, and I just want to see how they get on, because we need this. We need this all for the future. If we're going to compete on 3-4 levels every season, we're going to need to have the squad. And we need to be able to do what City could do. Where they could have fielded 2 teams in the Prem and finished top 4. That's the kind of levels we need to aspire to. And the only way to do that is to have good players, second players, as well as your first players. And there's some great players that I'm so looking forward to. Like you just mentioned, Marquinhos and Vieira. I want to see again. I think Vieira is going to be an outstanding player.
Yes.
I've got a feeling, actually. I know you said you didn't want it, Steve, but I've got a feeling he's going to keep 2 or 3 seniors, and I think 3 of them may be Gabriel at the back. Xhaka, and potentially Martinelli as well. I think we might see them, because I can't see him.
You can have Marquinhos in there.
They all played in Zurich as well, didn't they, Neil? Those 3 played in Zurich, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think only because it's at home. If it was away, Steve, then I agree with you. But because it's at home, there's no travelling. I don't know. I mean, who am I? I don't know.
We've got
I
Liverpool
can't.
on Sunday, though, mate. Like,
I know. No.
I don't think he'll risk him. I don't think he'll risk him.
Steve, I'm with you, but I'm just thinking, is he going to be that bold to make a whole 11 change? I just can't see it. I just can't see 11. I think there will be 3, maybe 4 of the players we saw on Saturday. But again, I don't know. But I'm just so looking forward to it. I want to see what these other players bring to the table. And I know you don't like Holding, Richard, but I think it's potentially could be him at the back.
I like Holding. I just feel as though he is not good enough for the level that we now are playing at. I mean, I like Rob Holding. I think he's a great guy. I love his new hair and everything. But I think as a player, he's just not at that level that we need now.
You just don't forgive him for getting that red card at Tottenham. That's all, Rich. Come on, tell us the truth. Big truth. Be honest with the 20,000.
I mean, that obviously hasn't helped his cause. Let's be honest. I mean, that didn't help his cause. But I just don't feel as though he's quite at the level that we need anymore. You know, he was okay when we were maybe finishing 6th and 7th and 8th in the league. That's probably his level. But when you're trying to get into the top 4, challenge at the top end of the league, he's not going to be good enough to do that, is he? He may well be okay against a Norwegian team, possibly. I'm sure he'll be okay against them. I don't mind if he plays. I'm sure he'll cope with them. But I wouldn't want to see him playing too many games in the Premier League.
No. I'm talking about this game.
I think for this game, he'd be perfect for this game. Gets in minutes. And I wouldn't mind him playing at all. He played in the last game, didn't he, against Zurich? He did all right, didn't he?
Yeah. I think he'll be all right. I think the whole team will be fine. I think we'll win. I think we'll win quite comfortably. I don't know anything about them. I thought they were a premium car polish, but
they sound like they should be, shouldn't they? But he's flash, so maybe it comes from it. I don't know.
But I won't be disrespectful. I mean, they do what they do. And in the day, we can only play the team that's put in front of us, and we've just got to keep our heads and do what we can. I just hope we see something very special from some of those young, I don't want to call them fringe players because that sounds very disrespectful. I just want to call them our second team.
The next generation.
Yeah. And it's such a young, it's generally such a young squad. So, we could be setting ourselves up for maybe 7 to 10 years here at this rate, because some of the players probably still got 7, 8, 9 years in them because they're so young. So if we start seeing something very special now, wow, this could be great for the future. So this is a great benchmark for them to do what they can do, and then obviously they'll potentially get another chance in the Carabao Cup as well.
Do we think that's
Thursday night?
What's that, mate?
Dry. Because if it's dry, we've got every chance of beating this mob because they're the reigning champions.
Oh my God!
Sorry, boys, I get my colour.
Was that your
Christmas
cracker joke?
I love that man. That's why I love that man in a good way. Good wholesome.
That is a good Christmas cracker joke, Joe.
Yeah, it was a good Christmas cracker joke. Yeah, it's just a couple of months too early, but yeah, it's a good Christmas cracker joke. But yeah, I mean, do we think we might see that 15-year-old lad who came on against Brentford? Do you think he might
be on the bench
that night?
Yeah.
He probably can't play midweek, can he? He's got youth club and that, hasn't he, as well? So
he's off detention. Like, as long as he gets the North London Gazette done his rounds in the door, I think he'll be fine. I really do hope we see him. I also want to see Charlie Patino come back as well because he's not getting any time. No,
is he not on loan?
I thought he was playing
at Blackpool. He's on loan at Blackpool. Yeah.
He's playing at Blackpool, but apparently he's not getting much playing time.
But he got injured, didn't he? He got injured.
No, he came back, scored a goal.
Oh, did he?
He still played against Orient. No, did he play against Orient or no? Millwall.
I know he got an injury, didn't he? He missed a few goals. Yeah.
But isn't Aziz back with us?
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone, is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's on loan. James says all I know about Bode Glimt is I think he died in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, quite possibly he did. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's there. They are what they are, and we've got to play them. Melvin, score prediction for Thursday?
4-0.
4-0. Oh. Steve, what are you going for?
I'm going for 7-0. Melvin's going for. I'm going 7-0.
7-0. Oh, what's Neil going to say for this one?
I can't.
19. Neil's saying 19.
I've told you that you'll be getting that scores line. You'll be surprised when I do it. I'm going to go for a very conservative shock horror 3-1.
7-0. 7. Wow. I'm telling you, 7-0.
3-1.
Wow. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about 7-0.
Do you remember, Steve, before the game, we were giving our predictions?
Yes.
I said 2-1. Somebody said 3-1. Was it you that said 3-1?
I said 3-2.
3-2. Someone said 3-1.
Yeah.
And from out of nowhere, the guy next to you wasn't in the conversation. It's definitely going to be 3-1. Definitely. He was so convinced. Do you remember that?
He did, yeah. I remember. I was
Well,
trying to
what
drink.
Well,
There we go. He knew. When you know, you know. You know.
He was convinced, wasn't he? He was like, yeah, it's going to be 3-1. He was so convinced.
Wasn't Adam the one that said 3-1? I think Adam said 3-1.
I think someone did say 3-1. Yeah.
Well, no, there was a bloke randomly. So we're sitting having a pint, saying hello to everybody, giving group hugs and pictures and all that. And literally, this bloke just walked in. Went, no, it's going to be 3-1. Defo, 3-1.
Yeah, sure. He was
all day long. I want to hear it from
you. I
you.
don't even argue with him.
Yeah, he's just like, whoa, you're quite aggressive this morning, mate. Like,
Mate, you say so, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, you got it right, so there you go.
Yeah.
So
should have got his number. Should have got him on.
Yeah, we should have got him on. Yeah, if you're listening, come on the show next week and give us your score predictions because they're great. Loki says I just translated Bodo Glimny. He says it goes they will flash. So he said expect a rest. Well, there you go. So that could be fun. So we shall see. But
they're not the team that play naked, are they? Do you remember when the Harry's? Was it the Harry?
That's it, Roma. No, James is right. It's Roma.
And they played that team, and David Seaman walked off because they were all naked. They were playing the footballers naked. Do you remember that? I don't know if anyone saw that documentary.
I don't think I saw that film, mate.
I think that was a dream, Neil. I think you've had a dream.
No, it wasn't a dream. Someone in the chat correct me. It was
Little Street.
Harry's Heroes, whatever the
Harry's Heroes. The Harry's Hero was a real thing.
No,
that was an army thing, wasn't it? Harry's Heroes. That was an army one.
No,
Harry's Heroes was Harry Redknapp coaching all the old England players.
Harry Heroes, it was called. Harry Heroes.
No, it wasn't. It was about Harry Redknapp's England team. Oh, I'll give up.
Wow,
yeah, and he made them play a team that were all naked, and David Seaman got the up and walked off. He goes, "I'm not doing that." And he just walked off. Did you not see that? None of you saw that.
Loki says, "Neil, were they Brazilian?" Quite possibly. It
was Roma. No, James just said it was Roma.
Yeah, James said, Roma, who was pummeled in the Europa League and made them go into the conference. Yeah, and Bodo Glimt did beat Celtic as well last season.
Yeah, Frodo Baggins did beat Roma. That was it. Yeah.
So that's they're capable of getting a result, aren't they? So who knows? But yeah, obviously not on Thursday because Steve gone 7-0. So there you go.
Right, it's 7-0 all day. It's got I will buy everybody a very expensive Arsenal hot dog if we don't beat them 7-0.
Well, there we go. So there you go. Everyone in the chat, everyone watching the show, Steve will buy you a hot dog if you don't win 7-0. I don't think it'll be 7-0.
What will it be, Rich? What's your prediction?
I think we'll win. I mean, I don't know too much about Bodo Glimt, if I'm totally honest. I don't know what sort of side we're going to put out. I do think we'll rest a lot of players. I think we'll win comfortably. I'll go 4-1. We can't keep clean sheets at home, can we? And I'm sure Bodo with their flash will score a goal, and then we'll win 4-1.
No, 7-0.
I think it'll be comfortable anyway. I'm sure it'll be a fairly comfortable, enjoyable evening, which is good. But after Bodo Glimt, it's someone who we know a little bit more about, and it might not be quite as easy as a 7-0 win on Sunday, perhaps. Of course, it is Liverpool, going through a bit of a tough time at the minute, which is nice to see, isn't it? After the last few years, of course, we don't have a great record recently against Liverpool. Last season, we played them 4 times, didn't even manage to score a goal against them, and we haven't scored in the last 3 games we played against them at the Emirates either, and not been great. We've only won 2 of our last 8 meetings with them, and only 1 of the last 8 at home. So, statistics don't really go in our favour in this particular game. But when we look at the form that Liverpool are in and the form that we're in, it kind of makes all those statistics a little bit irrelevant to a certain degree, because they'll be quite concerned coming to Emirates at the moment, the way that we're playing. Yeah. And, it's a big game. If we beat them, it puts, that puts their title challenge really down, doesn't it? Having drawn with Brighton at the weekend, they've already lost a couple of games. I mean, Melvin, what are you thinking ahead of this? Because we've got such a poor recent record against Liverpool, but this Liverpool team don't look anywhere near as good as previous 3 or 4 seasons, do they? Which is a good thing in our favour.
The thing is, as you say, they've got a brilliant record against us, but they haven't got Mane, that nasty bit of work. I'm keeping the nasty to work, don't I? But he another nasty. He gets away with blue murder, right? So they haven't got him, and he's a terrific player. So they're lacking there. I know they brought that left winger guy. What's his name? The new guy, slim guy, very good player.
Nunes.
Diaz.
Yes, Diaz.
Diaz is
good. Yeah.
He's a fantastic. A lot of his goals are like made by himself. He's not like integrated 100% yet. And that centre forward they got, the one who got sent off against, was it Southampton or Crystal Palace? I'll be honest with you, he looks fantastic. I know he hasn't been doing it. I know he got suspended for a couple of games against him, but I tell you what, if he had a clicks, then they got a bit of a forward there. He's got everything. He's big, strong. He's got an eye for goal. I think he could be good. But they've got not the evil eye on us, because they've been better than us. We haven't been like unlucky with the beaters. I think we've been a little bit unfortunate in certain games where we've been on top. I think Odegaard was it in the league last year? That Odegaard should have scored a one-on-one with a keeper.
Yeah.
And he skied over the bar, or the goalie got his hand and it went over the bar, and then they went up the other end a couple minutes later and scored. With Liverpool and us, if they go in the league, we know it's game over. Other teams, it probably isn't. But we just mentally, we've got a hurdle to go over with them. And hopefully we can get over it next Sunday. It's going to be tough. I know we're in form, but we're giving, at home especially, we're giving other teams, I'm sorry, I've got a damper on this, we're giving teams plenty of chances to score against us.
Yes.
I know we've been playing a lot better defensively, but we are still more so away from home, I think. But we are still getting people running through us, past us. We saw that in a couple of minutes after the first half against Spurs, when their centre back ran into 40 yards of space. That shouldn't be allowed to happen, in all seriousness. So I think we need to address that. I don't know how, where, or when, but we need to address that. So I think that he's a very good Gabriel, our centre half, is very good, but I think he needs help sometimes. I think that's our weaker. I'm not saying it's weak. That's our weaker side. On the right hand side, we're fine. Whoever plays right back, whether it's White, Tommy, you've got Saliba there, it works. But on the other side, I think he gets caught. He gets pulled out of position a bit too easy, and he panics. I mean, I like him as a player. I think he's terrific, and he's only young. He's 24. I think he's still got a little bit to learn. He's still a little bit rough around the edges. He's very good, but I think he needs to learn not to panic, see the bigger picture. So with Liverpool, you mustn't give them a chance, because they don't need 10. They don't need 10 chances to score against you. They need 1 or 2. I think when they beat us last year at home in the league, they only had about 2 chances. They both put them away. Thank you very much. Job done. See you next season. And that's the thing with Liverpool. I know they're not playing well. I know their confidence isn't up, but we're the perfect team for them to play, because they know what we're like. They actually know how to beat us. I'm sorry to say. So we've got a lot of work to do Sunday. I'm not going there confident because I look at the time. Look, we're above and we're so many points ahead of them. That means nothing on the day. Yeah. Because us and Liverpool, it's a different kettle of fish. And that is, I know they said that Spurs was a big test. This is a much bigger test for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously it is. I mean, Liverpool, I know, as you say, they're not playing particularly well, but they've got quality, haven't they? And sooner or later, Mo Salah's going to hit his form, isn't he? Which he's been a bit off his game. And 1 or 2 others have as well. Van Dijk's not had a great start to the season. We know Trent's having a few problems defensively. Martinelli can probably add to that potentially on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, Liverpool on their day, if Liverpool turn out and play as well as they can play, it's going to make it a really difficult game for us. But ultimately, at the minute, the way we're playing, I'm sure they'll be more worried about us this season than they've been in the last few seasons when they've played us, because as you said, Melvin, they know how to beat us, or they have done. But this is a different Arsenal team now, isn't it? You know, we've got a different threat going forward with Jesus. We're a lot more solid at the back. Yes, we do concede too many chances. We can't keep a clean sheet at home. That is a big problem. And as you rightly say, against a team like Liverpool, if they score first, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to to come back. So yeah, we need to be switched on. But yeah, I'm feeling as confident as you can feel when you're playing Liverpool, because they are a very good side still, even despite their problems. Rajandra actually has gone 11-0 on Thursday. I'm guessing that's because he doesn't know too much about Bode Glimt.
Come on, mate. Come on, 11-0. Let's go. I'm thinking 7, but
that'd be a record score, wouldn't it, if we did that, which would be nice. James says Xhaka and Gabriel will definitely play on Thursday. He's meaning he says he doesn't want Martinelli to play, but he probably will. I'd say put Nelson out left and see if he can be the option for Arsenal for once in his career. Well, I mean, he's had 1 or 2 moments, hasn't he? He did score against Liverpool, of course, didn't he? A couple of years ago, last time we beat him, actually, Reece Nelson in that game, if you remember.
I think he made the other one, didn't he? Did he? Was it him that gave the? I know that the centre half made a mistake for Lacazette's goal. I think Nelson was part of that move. I think.
Yeah, I think he might have been. Yeah, he's had a couple of good. I don't think he'll play on Sunday unless we've got some sort of major injuries. But we'll see. James has just cleared up the issue with Aziz. He says he's in IB3. He says he's not on a pills and shine. He's actually on loan to IB in the 2nd division of Spain. I mean, there you go. If that's the level that we think he should be playing at, then quite clearly he's never going to get to play in our first team again, is he? If he's only good enough for the Spanish 2nd division, then I think that tells us all we need to know. Steve, anyway, looking ahead to Liverpool then on Sunday, it's a massive game, isn't it? And also it's an opportunity for us to make another statement. We've made a few statements this season with some of our victories. Beating Liverpool, I think then people may start actually taking us a little bit more seriously. I think so far, we're not playing anybody yet. We beat Spurs, but Spurs are crap, so that doesn't matter. Absolutely. Beating Liverpool would be a statement, wouldn't it?
I think so. Rich, we've got 2 or 3 things that are going on here. So for Liverpool, Firmino's starting to hit form, right? So Firmino's absolutely playing.
He had a good game, didn't he?
He really did. He really did. And that's about the only thing I can say, to be honest with you. Nunes looks like Darwin Nunes isn't really hitting it. And I was watching Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp looks like a bit of a broken figure to me at the moment, not the effervescent manager. And I've always said that I would have loved Jurgen at the Emirates, but he's not the effervescent figure that we're all used to. He does look like a genuinely broken man at this moment in time. The positive for us is last time Martinelli actually went 1-on-1 with Trent Alexander. Trent Alexander is busted his hamstrings, was out for a hell of a long time. So Martinelli on form, Trent Alexander, and I like Trent, by the way. I'm a massive Trent fan. Not as big and bigger than Son. Before James says anything, but with Trent, Trent's having a bit of a bad time at the moment. He's not playing particularly well. No. And Van Dijk, what has happened to Van Dijk? The poster boy. Who was the poster boy until we got Saliba. So Van Dijk's not having a good. Their defense looks shonky. Their injuries have really affected them. Mane going. You're absolutely right, Melvin. Horrible play. Horrible in the way he played. Horrible in the way that he sort of took on defenses. Horrible in the way that he took on the sort of keepers and stuff. Is now no longer part of it, and I think it's taken something away from Liverpool. Mm-hmm. Do I think it's going to be an easy game? Definitely not. Do I think they're coming to our house with our fans, with our people? Oh, mate, it's going to be a different. It's going to be a different place. I think now, if we are ever going to beat Liverpool, like we need to, if we're ever going to prove that statement, now is the time to play them. Now is the time where we're coasting high from North London Derby. Everybody's fit. We've got everything kind of going in the right direction for us. Now, 100% is where we need to stamp our authority. And I am praying to God that, as I said last week, I'll say it this week, I'll say it again, please put 5 in that midfield. Please try and pack that whole midfield out. Get old man Milner in there. Get Henderson, who's awful. Get Firmino trying to do whatever he does. The whole lot. Put 5 in there. We love it. Keep doing that and watch us absolutely destroy you. If he does that, okay? My one concern's right this, and I'm going to say it, and I'll say it again, is Tommy needs to play at right back and not White. I don't think we need to. We need to have that strength in there again, and it showed this weekend the space. And that's not to say that Ben didn't have a brilliant game; he really did. But the spaces were there for like Perisic to run in. I mean, in fairness, Perisic is so old he had to stop and have a fag and a drink on the way through, trying to get in there. But there was space that we need to stop that, and Tomiyasu is going to be the player to do it. And I keep saying it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been quite surprised so far that Tomiyasu hasn't got his place back in the team. Not that Ben White's done anything wrong, particularly, but he isn't a natural right back, is he? And Tomiyasu is. And I don't know, I'm sure it won't be long until Tomiyasu is in the team, but obviously he's going to play Thursday night, but we'll see what happens. I'm not sure he'll play against Liverpool. I think it will be very similar team that played against Tottenham has been playing in the last few games because they're playing well. And it's, you don't change things necessarily unless you have to. But yeah, I mean, I do think it will be a big test for us. We know that, but I say a chance to make a real statement. I mean, no doubt Neil expects us to win quite comfortably. Is that the case, Neil? Or you? I mean, it's not going to be an easy game.
20-0. Neil said 20-0 earlier in our WhatsApp. You said 20-0, Neil, didn't you?
I might have done, Steve. No, it's not going to be easy. The problem is, it doesn't matter how bad Liverpool are playing. Klopp will definitely. Everyone's talking about our point to prove and make that statement of intent. Doesn't matter how many. When we beat Liverpool on Sunday, they're going to say, "Well, it wasn't the proper Liverpool you're playing. It wasn't the proper Tottenham you were playing." It's always some bollocks. Excuse me, I know I've sworn. Sorry, but I just had to get that one out. I honestly, I just think it's so.
No, that's Norwegian. That's Norwegian.
It's so infuriating, and it makes me so angry. Like, it doesn't matter what we do. We'll end up winning the league, and then we'll go, yeah, but that was a one-off. That was a proper league. Everyone else was playing rubbish. I'm just fed up with it. End of the day, I think it's going to be a tough game because Klopp will raise his team. It's us. He's got the point to prove because now we're top of the league, and it'll be even more fired up for it. And that's my only concern. But I still think we're going to have just that little bit too much for them, and I think it's going to be a really close one. I think it's going to be a close affair, but we're going to edge it. That's how I see it. But I just feel that I don't think he should change anything. I agree. I don't try and fix something that's not broken. I think the team that started on Saturday is fine. I actually did think that Tomiyasu would start as well instead of White, but actually with hindsight. I think Ben White was great. I said it earlier. I think he did a lot of stuff which goes unnoticed. That goes unnoticed. His movement off the ball. He was distracting defenders. He was going on the outside. He was doing overlaps. He was doing everything that you could possibly ask of the lad. And you need to give him his credit where it's due. But I do need to see Tommy back at some point because he's a good player, and I don't want him to start feeling that he's not involved in this setup. He needs to start playing again, and I'm sure he will on Thursday. I think he'll get a full game. But I think it's going to be a tight affair. I just think, you guys said it. There's never been a better time to play them. They're not quite right at the minute, and we have to take advantage of that because we are probably playing the best that we've ever played. They're probably down a couple of levels or a couple of gears, so we have to take advantage of it. There should be no mercy shown. We should just go for the jugular and get that win. But it's going to be a tight affair, I think.
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, I think under Klopp, I think in 19 meetings, if you discount penalty shootouts, we've only beaten Liverpool once. We had a couple of draws which we won on penalties, but we've only actually beaten them once under Klopp. So, yeah, they're not the same Liverpool. I agree with that, and it's an opportunity for us to beat them. We've got a new person in the chat today, Henning, there from Norway. Yes. He says, looking forward to Thursday. I mean, maybe, Henning, you probably know a little bit more about Bode Glimt than we do. So if you've got any extra information, please drop it in the chat. It'd be nice to get a little bit more information about them. He says there, I think we will get a very, very hard game. I only hope we can go home with somehow great performance. I guess like 6-1. Well, yeah, you go 6-1. That's not too bad.
That's 7 goals. I said 7 goals.
Yeah, you say 7 goals. But 6-1 is Henning's prediction, which is great. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Liverpool, obviously, it is. I really do feel it is a good time to be playing Liverpool. That they're not firing on all cylinders. They've got a few issues going on, whatever they might be. We don't know. We're not sure. Yeah, Mane's gone, hasn't helped. Salah's off form. Trent's having problems, as we said. Van Dijk is, God knows what's happened to him because he's making mistake after mistake, isn't he, so far this season? So everything looks in our favour in many ways, but it's still Liverpool. And on their day, as we said, they capable of getting a result against anybody, and they're not going to be easy to beat. Loki says there will be like the 4-0 Limpar game. Liverpool on the way out. Well, yeah, that kind of Limpar game was the end of Liverpool's period of dominance, wasn't it? Really, that was the end of it, and we beat them 4-0. That Limpar goal, long live in the memory of everyone that saw it. A fantastic goal that was. But we kind of killed Liverpool off, didn't we? We ended Liverpool in the 80s, didn't we? 89, 87, 89, and that game of the early 90s when we beat them 4-0, and it took them 30 years to recover. So maybe the same's going to happen again on Sunday. Maybe we'll end Liverpool once and for all. We'll end them this time, and then they'll take them another 30 years to come back and win anything important. But yeah, I mean that was a great game. I'm not expecting it to be a 4-0 if I'm totally honest. But let's see. It is a great opportunity. It's a great time to be playing. I'm glad we're playing them now, as opposed to maybe later on in the season when they might well have picked their form up again, which is probably in our favour. Henning says, "I'm travelling to London tomorrow. Oh, fantastic! Enjoy.
Come for a pint.
Enjoy your stay in London. Yeah, say obviously Steve and Melvin and Neil are all at the game on Thursday, so you'll have to maybe arrange it. I'll meet up, and that'd be good, won't it?
Come meet us for a pint, mate. We'll buy you a pint. It's cheaper than Norway, so I'm happy to buy you a pint.
In the Emirates, it's not. It's not cheap in the Emirates.
Oh yeah, you go to Norway. You never buy around for anyone when you go to Scandinavia. Trust me on that.
Right, okay, but it's expensive in the Emirates as well for a pint. You better off going to the toilet and it's cheaper in there. But yeah, you probably will spend half an hour trying to get served. James says, get Martinelli on Trent. He'll spin him like a hot point washout. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen anyway, isn't it? I think that's probably the way it will be anyway, because I'm sure that's how it's gonna go. We need a score prediction for this really, really big, important game. Melvin, what are you thinking for Sunday? Because it is going to be. It's not going to be easy, regardless of how poor Liverpool have been. It's not going to be an easy game, is it?
I'm going 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1. Well, that'll do. I'm sure we'll take a 2-1 without a shadow of a doubt. That'll be a great result, and we'll enjoy that very much, I'm sure. Steve, what are you thinking for Sunday?
See, I want to go something stupid like a 6-3 or something like that, but genuinely, I think it's going to be 2-2. It's going to be a 2-2 draw.
2-2, you think? Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Steve.
That was. He's gone 7-0 on Thursday and a 2-2 draw against Liverpool, who drew 3-0 with Brighton.
Different gravy.
Okay,
it is different gravy, but I mean that's quite a contrast in results there, isn't it? Really, but anyway, I mean, I suppose a 2-2 draw. It depends how the game goes. It wouldn't be a disaster, I guess, but I think it's a good opportunity for us to beat him. Neil, what are you thinking? Then I'm sure you're expecting us to win.
I'll win. I'll 100% win. It's going to be close. I'm going to go 2-1 as well, and it's going to be Martin Odegaard scores first goal.
Martin Odegaard, do you think?
Make up for his miss against them.
Martin Odegaard.
And do you know what? Can I just say something which I forgot to say? Last season, we actually went toe-to-toe with them for the first 56 minutes.
Yeah, we did. That's right.
We did.
So we're better now. Just think about that. And they were better then. So think about it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that is definitely a fair point. We did.
Okay, 17-0 to the Arsenal.
Ladbrokes, please. I need Ladbrokes quickly. Ladbrokes for the price changes. Thank you.
Is you changing your mind now, Steve? After that?
No. I still think it's going to be a 2-2.
Okay,
It's going to be a 2-2, and that won't be a bad result.
Henning says, "How much does a pint cost in England?"
Too much.
As Steve says, £6, which I don't know what that is equivalent to in Norway.
23 kroners.
Is it? Is that what it is?
No, I'm joking. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew them for a minute, Melvin. I'm thinking, how did you know that? That was pretty good. We'll see. Rajendra says that a UK pint is 20. Fluid ounce. I see what you mean, and costs about £5. Yeah, I suppose it's in the Emirates it's about £10, but yeah, elsewhere in the world it's a bit less. Loki says we'll be 2-1 to Arsenal. Salad getting a penalty. Well, it seems to be we do seem to concede goals at home, so yeah, I do expect Liverpool to score. Rajandra's gone 4-1. Wow, that's quite optimistic.
Come on, Raj. I like that guy.
I do like that. He went 11-0 on Thursday and 4-1 against Liverpool. So
15 goals. Wow.
Neil, that's you, isn't it? You've logged in twice, mate. You've logged in twice.
Yeah, I think he might be. I think Rajendra might be Neil in disguise.
You shouldn't smoke and come on this pod. That's what I say.
or you shouldn't come pretending to be Neil anyway, because that's not 1-0 is all we need. Henning says I'm sorry I'm interrupting the talk about Liverpool game. I was just too late. No, that's fine. We're glad to have you here. If you do know if you've got any details about Bode Glimt, please tell us, because we don't know too much about them other than that Glimt means flash. That's about it really, and that they are Norwegian champions and they beat Celtic and Roma in Europe in recent years. Other than that, we don't know anything else. So if you've got any inside information that you want to share with us, that would be fantastic. Because
when I looked at their stats, when they score like 1 million goals, and when they lose, it's like 1-0. It's one or the other. They either do really, really well or really, really poo-poo. Just see as we got the YouTube police on there. No, Henning, come and find us, mate. We'll buy you a pint. Come on. That's how good we are.
A £10 pint inside the Emirates. That's what you'll get if you meet Steve and Neil. Virginia says it'll be a close game, but we'll score extra 2 goals at the end. Well, possibly on the counter attack. Who knows? Anything's possible. Loki says it's £3.80 a pint in Cambridgeshire, England. Well, there you go. Seems to be a bit cheaper in Cambridge then, so that's the place to go, isn't it? Perhaps, but I suppose it's going to be different in different pubs, isn't it? Let's be honest. Different breweries and different stuff like that. But
by the way, Leicester are 4-0 up at the moment against Nottingham Forest.
Are they?
Yeah. They'll have to probably buy in January, Forest, won't they?
Harvey Barnes. Have a look at Harvey Barnes. The second goal, absolutely out of this world.
I do like Harvey Barnes. I've got to be honest. I think he's a great player. Actually, I think he's really, really good. And I did expect Leicester at some point to turn it around and get away from the bottom of the table. But I mean, 4-0 was quite a shock result. I wasn't expecting that tonight. Forest, all them new players they've got enough, have they? They'll have to get a few more.
Got by some in January, I told you.
Yeah, that's what they need to do.
In January.
Yeah, that's what they'll need to do. They might need a new manager by then as well, because it seems to be season for sacking at the minute, doesn't it? Wolves have sacked their manager. Was it the other day, yesterday, or day before?
You could see that.
You can see it coming. Yeah, they're not even doing that bad when you look at it where they are in the table and stuff. I mean, it could be a lot worse. So, but anyway, they can't score goals.
Can't score a goal, can they?
No, they can't. The 3 goals they've scored all season, actually, 3. That's not
why. Can't score a goal.
Regenda says London is expensive, 1.5 times the price of elsewhere. Well, London's expensive everything, isn't it? Let's be honest. Everything's expensive in London. So a pint is going to be a lot more expensive. But anyway, so Henning, anyway, get yourself down on Thursday. Come and meet up with the guys, and they will look after you.
Part of the family.
They will look after you. They will show you all the sights of London that you need to see. Which is basically
where are you going to be before the game, Steve?
Mate, I'm literally driving up, so I'm going to be driving straight up. But Melvin, I'll give you a message. Well, why don't we meet up at the same place?
I'm hoping to get for about 6:30. I'm meeting the usual 2 lads. About 6:30, I think I'll be there.
Right.
I put a message out on the WhatsApp group. Sorry, we should be talking this is outside of the podcast. Mate. Let's meet up for a pint. Henning, seriously, mate, come find us. We'll take you for a pint, mate. Don't you worry. We'll look after you.
And Henry said our best season was in 2020 when we won the league for the first time. We scored 103 goals and got 81 points out of 30 games. Well, that's a good season, that, isn't it?
That's playing from then.
He's got 100 of them on his own.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad season, is it? To be honest with you, you were only playing against teams in the Norwegian league, so
be nice, Rich.
Come on. I mean,
respect, Richard. Come on.
How many teams from Norway can you name? How many teams can you name from Norway, Steve? Come on.
Oslo United, Oslo FC, Oslo Confederation,
Norwegian Blue. Is there Norwegian Blue or something?
Yeah, Norwegian Blue, pining for the fields.
Yeah.
Bode Glimt, we got them as well. Sorry, Henning, we ain't being rude, mate. Come and find us. Yeah,
no, we love Norwegian football. And Loki says 12 pins.
12 pins, Finsbury Park.
Yeah, the 12 pins.
Jackson, I could be there. I don't know.
If you want to go 12 pins, that could be good. It's all right in there. So there you go, Henning. Go to the 12 pins at Finsbury Park, opposite the station. You can't go wrong. You won't be able to miss it. You can meet the guys, and they will definitely look after you. Show you a good night in London and at the Emirates. What will be a great game, I'm sure. And what Steve's hoping for is he's hoping for somewhere to stay in Norway for the return game. So I'm sure you can return the favour He won't have to pay £5 million for a hotel.
Yeah, I could buy a hotel in England for the cost of a room for one night, as we'd be looking at this moment in time. So, I'm looking forward to trying to get out there and watch the away leg.
Yeah, so if Henny knows anywhere cheap, or he's prepared to put Steve up for the night, that would be much appreciated. So
I snore, so watch out. I scare pets, so don't even go there, mate. Seriously.
No. Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, so anyway, they did win the league in 2020, scored 103 goals in 30 games, which is actually a pretty decent season, that, to be fair, isn't it? We would like a season like that, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm sure it's not going to be quite as easy for them on Thursday as it was that particular time. But who knows? I'm sure it'll be a good game anyway. And fair play to Bode Glimt for being in the Europa League, which is
well done,
good.
guys.
Yeah, well played, and look forward to it. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy yourself on Thursday night. I'm sure you will. Enjoy your time in London. And all that kind of stuff. It's going to be good. And yeah, we look forward. Hopefully, we'll meet up with the guys if you can. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Loki says, I've been to Norway, fantastic people and fish. Yeah, a lot of fish, obviously. And Norway as well do supply most of our gas. So if they want to knock the price down a little bit as well.
Yeah, come on, boys.
Would be quite nice,
Henning, can you have a word? We're
going to show you nice hospitality in London. So the least you can do is reduce your gas prices for us, because we're struggling at the minute over here. It's a nightmare. So don't worry about the price of a pint. Worry about the price of gas. That's what's concerning us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is lovely fish, and also as well, we do like Frida Marnham, who of course plays for the women, who's from Norway. We do like her as well. So we've got a lot of time for Norwegians at this moment in time. Henry says, thank you very much for that. I will enjoy my time for sure, no matter the result. Yeah, of course you will, because London's a fantastic city, and you will have a great time. And the Emirates is a fantastic stadium, and you'll enjoy the occasion. And
it's warmer. It's warmer here.
It is warmer. And at the moment, it's actually quite warm as well for October, so it's fine. No snow or nothing like that, so you'll be fine. It's going to be good, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So yeah, so that's obviously Thursday night, Bode Glimt. We've got a Bode Glimt fan. It's probably a first on any channel on YouTube this week. We have got a Bode Glimt fan come on the show. So that's fantastic. So thank you very much.
We're going to look after you. We're going to look after you. You're going to be part of our team over and over again. We're going to look after you, Henning. No sweat. Don't worry about it. Just look forward to some excitement, a lot of screaming, a lot of drinking. It's going to get crazy.
And if you want to come on the show next week, on next Monday, and talk about the game, you'll be more than welcome to come on and have a chat about your team and about the game and all that kind of stuff, which would be good. And it says absolutely right now it's about 9 degrees here in Bode. Oh, there you go. It's 9 degrees. Wow, it's a lot warmer here at the minute. Actually, I don't know what
I am so not going to the away leg. A Spaniard. That's getting to minus numbers.
Yeah, but 9's not too bad, Steve, is it? 9's okay. 9's bearable, isn't it? That's like a winter day here, isn't it? 9.
My dogs were like that. My DNA is built for like 30 or 40. So let's get some Spanish teams. Sorry, Bodo, it's not happening.
Yeah, 9 degrees is. I don't fancy 9 degrees much, but anyway, I'm sure it'll be colder the time we play them away, because that's. Is that it's next week, isn't it?
Next week, next week.
After, yeah. So yeah. Anyway, it's a little bit colder, but anyway, yeah. So enjoy yourself in London, and I say meet up with the guys. You'll have fun. It'll be great. And yeah, I'm sure you'd enjoy yourself. So that is the show for this week then. So we've obviously beaten Tottenham, fantastic, and we enjoyed that brilliantly. And we've got we're playing, of course, our Henning's team, Bode Glimt, on Thursday, which is going to be fun, and of course a really, really big one on Sunday against Liverpool, which is going to be fun. Henry says, "Are you going to Bode?" Well, Steve wanted to go, and he was looking into it. It's expensive, so if you can put him up for the night, he'll definitely go.
I'm not staying. Seriously, I snore and I scare pets. That ain't happening. So, we'll talk. Henning, look, come and find us. Right, message us. Come and DM us. Right, I promise you, we'll discuss it, because I really want to go to Bode to watch it. Because why not?
Yeah, exactly. So, that's all we can sort out. It'd be fun, won't it? And all meet up. I say the first ever Bode Glimt fan on the channel, which is a historic moment. We're very, very grateful for that. So anyway, coming up on the channel, obviously tomorrow night there isn't going to be a show because Steve, unfortunately, and Adam are otherwise engaged, so they can't produce their show tomorrow, which is a shame. But there's some big news on Wednesday afternoon, 5 o'clock here live, is going to be a former Arsenal legend, Paul Davis, who of course has got his book out, Arsenal and After. He's coming on Wednesday to have a chat about his book, have a chat about his career and everything else. If anybody out there, if you've got any questions that you want me to put to Paul Davis, please drop them in the comments and I'll try and get through if we can. We've only got him for about half an hour, 45 minutes. So we haven't got a lot of time. He's a busy boy, obviously, lots going on. But he is coming in, I say, on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So I say, if you've got any questions for him, please drop them in there and we will see if we can get through that. But yes, it's going to be great. One of my real big Arsenal idols, Paul Davis, absolutely loved him as a player. It's just going to be an absolute honour to have him on and have a chat to him about everything that's going on with him. Loki says Paul Davis is my favourite all time. Yeah, he's up there. He's in my top 4 or 5 players, without a shadow of a doubt. He used to be my favourite player for years in the 80s, definitely. And Michael's Arsenal Bubble says great show, gents. And you, thanks for watching, mate. We will speak very soon. You have to come on actually again. Keep trying to get you on. I know you're busy, but we will get you on very, very soon, I'm sure. But yeah, so Paul Davis on Wednesday. Melvin, you're not doing your show this week, no? It's next week.
I can't do it for personal reasons, but we're doing it. I've spoken to the guy. We're doing it next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday for the next Highbury Matters, which is going to be. If you haven't seen Highbury Matters show, anyone out there, please watch that because
really
it is fantastic. Great memories of great times at Highbury. With some fans who was there and experienced it all. Brilliant stuff. We're up to the early 1970s now, aren't we? So some really good times, obviously, from that particular era. That'll be next Wednesday. So we're next here on Wednesday for Paul Davis at 5 o'clock. Thursday, of course, it's a watch along the Bode Glimt game. I'll be doing a watch along of that at about 7:45. We'll go live for that one. Friday, I'll be doing a watch along of the England Lionesses. Are playing the USA at Wembley in European Champions against the World Champions. That's going to be a good game. Join us for that. And of course, Sunday, the Emirates, Arsenal versus Liverpool. Wow,
get in there.
That is going to be a big game. That is. It's going to be exciting. So join us for that one as well. Lots of great stuff coming up to look forward to. Loki says there, where we put, what does this mean? Where we put a question for Paul. I mean, if it just either the show's already set up on YouTube, so you can either go to that show for Wednesday and drop it in the comments there, drop it in the comments here, drop it on the channel, comment on the channel, anywhere, just
on Twitter,
on Twitter, yeah, on Twitter, over an Arsenal on Twitter, yeah, put it in there. A question if you've got one, or say just in the comments, and we'll hopefully get through them on Wednesday. It's going to be really, really good if you can. I know it's a bit early, but if you can't watch it live, it doesn't matter. Obviously, you can watch it back after, but it's going to be good anyway. So yeah, just put your comments in the comments in the chat or Twitter, and we'll see. Hopefully, we can get round to speaking to Paul about all that because that is going to be a great show. We love Paul Davis. Can't wait for that. So yeah, that's Wednesday at 5 o'clock. That's our next show actually. So please join us for that, which I'm sure will be great. Loki says cheers. Yeah, just drop your questions in and we will get through them as well. So that'll be good. So of course, right then, that is the show, the Arsenal review, episode 8 actually. Wow, we've done 8 of these already. Fantastic. Melvin, thank you very much as always for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thanks for inviting me on. Good crew here, nice crew. Thanks again. And look forward to being on again. I think my next one will be, I think you do one next Monday, you think?
Yeah, it should be one next Monday, yeah.
Yeah, look forward to that. And obviously the Wednesday as well. I'm looking forward to my guest. Got a good guest on. Well, I've always got a good guest on, haven't I?
Oh yeah, that show's been amazing, and it seems to be really popular as well, which is great. And all these younger fans we were talking about who are filling the Emirates at the minute, they need to watch it and get a little bit of history of the club as well, so they can get involved in that. So the Ashburton Army, we're supporting you guys. You can come and support us and watch Melvin's brilliant show and learn a history of the club, which is so important. Steve, as always, an absolute pleasure. Good to see you again in a good mood as always.
Thank you so much. And North London, come on! Can we get it? 7-0. It's happening. It's going to happen. Come on.
Don't upset Henning. He's our new friend. Don't upset him.
Henning, we're doing a vlog, so I'll be driving down. I'm doing a live vlog. I'd love to get like 5 minutes with you, mate. Over a pint, getting a Bode Glimt fan. I'm probably butchering the name. Get on, mate. Let's have you chatting. We'll get you live. Come on. Even if you do it in Norwegian, I'll translate it.
No, well, he seems to be okay with English. He can, he's been fine in English. I'm sure he can get English. He says,
you've got to translate what Steve says.
What's that, mate?
You've got to translate what Steve says, not what he says.
Yeah, we'll be translating for Steve, exactly. Yeah.
Come on, you boys.
Henry says that he's subscribed and he'll probably come back here for sure. Good. We look forward to speak to you again. Hopefully, I say on Thursday you see the guys and come back on next Monday and we'll talk about the game. Obviously, how well you guys played or not. But if we win 7-0 as Steve predicts, you might not want to come back on. I wouldn't blame you.
Or if you know the manager from Bode Glimt, tell him to come on as well with you. That's fine. We'll speak to him as well.
Or one of the players as well, right? Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be really good. If you know the players, we'll speak to them as well.
Or any other fans, actually. Loki says there, Henning's English is better than me. Yeah, he's doing pretty well. So that's not. I don't think you need to translate. I'm sure he's doing pretty well. So that's good. If you do want to come on next week, just let us know. It will be an absolute pleasure. And Neil, of course, as always, an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Your positivity just kind of emits out of you, which is great to see. Enjoyed it?
Always. Thank you so much for having me on. As always, a pleasure and honour to be with all of you. And Steve, I want to apologise to all the people who might be listening with their earphones when Steve's about to do his North London, because oh my God, that will wake them up for sure.
Get in there. Come on, 7-0 North London. It's happening.
God. So anyway, seriously, thank you to all of you, and yeah, pleasure to be on this. And I'm glad it's doing so well, Richard, this season for you, because you're the pioneer and amazing stats. So well done.
I mean, it's the show's about you guys as well. You're all contributing massively to the success of the show, and obviously everyone in the chat and who watches us as well, because it's it'd be a bit silly if it was just us talking to ourselves, wouldn't it? Really, I suppose. Loki says, "Cheers all for the chat." No, thank you very much, Loki, again as always for joining us. Everyone else in the chat as well. Terry, who's had to go to work, but I'm sure he'll be back to the other shows that we've got. Good to see James in the chat as well. Michael as well, of course, Rajendra, as always, Shane as well earlier. And of course, our new friend from Norway, Henning, who we really enjoyed being in. We look forward to meet up with the guys on Thursday. You'll enjoy it, definitely. It will be fun.
We'll have fun.
Yeah, you definitely have fun. And yeah, we will speak to you all very soon. I'll be back Wednesday at 5 o'clock with legend that is Paul Davis. So please join me for that. It's going to be great. And in the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you Gunners. Come on.
London, come on.
London. And just before we go, we just want another bit of this. Might as well make the most of it while we still can, because who knows how long it's going to last. We say it every week and we're still there. October, we're top of the league in October. Wow, who would have thought that? Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. We're enjoying ourselves and we're going to keep on enjoying ourselves anyway. Whatever happens, it's going to be a good season, isn't it? I think wherever we finish, whether we do win the league, as Neil says, or whether we don't, it's still going to be a good season. We're enjoying ourselves. So stay with us on the channel and loads of great stuff to come as well. Rajendra says there, thanks you all, great show. Listen to Richard's commentary, the best in all media. I don't know about the best. I enjoy doing them. I'm glad you're always there, and I do enjoy doing them. Henning says, cheers indeed. I look forward to seeing you very soon, Henning. And he says, remember, you played Mulder in the 2021 season. But yeah, we did play Mulder. That's right, we did, yeah. I mean, what was it, 4-1 we beat them, didn't we, at home? And was it 4-3-0 away or something? Henning says, I remember correct, you won both legs 3-0. I think it was 3-0. I think it might have been 4-1 at home, but yeah, we did beat them nicely. That was good. And they must be your rivals, are they, Mulder, I suppose? So we beat them, and we'll be playing you guys next, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, thank everyone for watching. So I'll see you Wednesday with Paul Davis, and obviously the big game on Thursday. Thanks to Melvin, of course, to Steve, and to Neil, to everybody watching. And I say, come on, you Gunners, and we will see you very, very soon. Take it easy, guys. Speak to you later.
Take care, guys.
Ta-da.
See ya.
Take care, all. Thank you.
Now, Thomas Partey coming forward for Arsenal. Exchanges passes with Granit Xhaka coming forward again. And Thomas Partey throws it into Martinelli. He's in the box. Gabriel Martinelli. It's now with Granit Xhaka. Is it going to be the third goal? It is the third goal. Granit Xhaka with it. That seals it.